Title: At the company Christmas party, my wife's work husband toasted me. To the loser paying for our future. Eyes on me. I left without a word. The next morning, his own CEO called my wife. It was supposed to be a celebration. Laughter, champagne, the dull hum of office gossip muffled by the sound of clinking glasses. But then his voice cut through the noise. To the loser paying for our future. The room froze. Dozens of eyes turned toward me, wine glasses halfway raised. He was smiling, broad, confident, stupidly proud. My wife's work husband, her partner on the new merger deal, the one she swore was just a friend. Her laugh came half a second too late, a nervous, brittle sound. I looked at her. She couldn't hold my gaze. I didn't speak, didn't move. I just set my glass down, quietly, precisely. Then I walked out. We'd been married 12 years. I'd met her when I was a broke engineer, building systems no one cared about. She worked in marketing, bright, ambitious, the kind of person who lit up every room she entered. I used to love that about her. When she joined the new company, she said it was a fresh start, better pay, bigger network. I believed her. I even helped her negotiate her contract, went over the fine print, revised her benefits. She used my expertise like it was hers. I didn't realize how far that habit would go. The signs started small. Late nights at the office, weekend strategy sessions, too many locked screens and quick swipes when I entered the room. One night, she came home smelling like whiskey and his cologne. I knew the scent. It was the same one he wore at last year's company retreat. Still, I waited. Anger's easy. Patience isn't. But patience, it cuts deeper. I didn't confront her. I studied her. Her phone backed up automatically to the cloud. She didn't know that. I built the system myself. Weeks of messages, jokes, pictures, plans. He wasn't just her affair, he was her investment. She'd been feeding him information from the merger I'd helped draft behind the scenes, through my consulting firm. Confidential terms, market strategy, intellectual property that I designed. She wasn't cheating on me, she was robbing me. So I did what I do best. I calculated. I made copies. Every email, every file, every meeting note she forwarded. I traced the leaks. And then I set a trap. I sent her a draft file labeled Confidential, Merger Terms, Unreleased. Inside was a fabricated clause that looked genuine but tied directly to a dummy company I controlled through a shell firm. 2 days later, the file was accessed from his IP address. Perfect. That gave me everything I needed: proof of corporate espionage, insider leaks, and a breach of fiduciary trust, all traceable through her login credentials and his device. I didn't send it to HR, I sent it to their CEO, from an anonymous encrypted address. That was a week before the Christmas party, so when I heard his toast that night, I wasn't angry, I was ready. His arrogance was the final note in a song I'd already written. The next morning, the fallout began. Their CEO called her at 8:12 a.m. I was sitting at the kitchen table when the phone buzzed. She looked pale before she even answered. "Yes, sir," she said, trying to sound steady. I could hear his voice faintly through the speaker. Cold, sharp. "The merger is off," he said. "Tell your boyfriend to never step foot in this office again. And you should call your husband and start begging." Her mouth went dry. She looked at me then, really looked, and for the first time, I saw fear. She dropped the phone. I didn't say a word. Within 24 hours, his career was over. Security escorted him out. The story spread fast. Unauthorized access, data theft, breach of contract. He tried to deny it, of course, but the logs, the emails, the timestamps, they were airtight. He lost his job, his reputation, his clearance. Her, too. She was listed in the company's legal notice as a participant in an internal data breach under review. Terminated immediately. The man she risked everything for wouldn't even return her messages. She sat in silence for days after that. The same woman who once filled every room with noise. When she finally spoke, it was barely a whisper. "Did you do this?" I met her eyes. Calm, controlled. "I didn't have to," I said. "You did." She started to cry. Not the soft kind, the ugly, choking kind that sounds like regret and disbelief at the same time. I packed my things quietly. She begged me to stay, to talk, to explain. But I'd already said everything I needed to, just not with words. I left her the house, the mortgage, the silence. I kept the one thing she couldn't fake, my peace. A week later, I got a message from her old CEO. "Your evidence saved us millions," he said. "If you ever want a position here, it's yours." I didn't take it. I didn't need to. Revenge isn't about replacing what's lost. It's about restoring balance. Sometimes I still think about that night. The room, the laughter, his glass raised in mockery. They thought they were playing a game. They forgot I built the board. In the end, I didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves, on the fault lines of their own arrogance. All I did was draw the map and walk away before the ground gave way beneath them. Now, when people ask me why I left her, I just smile and say, she made a toast. And in a way, she did. To endings, to justice, to the quiet satisfaction of watching truth burn brighter than revenge. Because sometimes silence isn't weakness. It's the sound of someone winning.